to SJ's classes. This video lesson, we will be discussing Dr. Samuel Johnson. The Tory critic that we have to confront as part of this module is William, of which is known as Partial tradition and the other as the Manipravalam tradition. Short introduction to the English novelist, journalist, essayist and critic. The two of the most popular Greek critics, Plato and Aristotle. He is considered as a representative of the fifth era in Malayalam. That is a folklore mythological story that is being referred to here.
To satisfy their inquiring minds. A week before, the Department of English of St. Michael's College, Cherthala, formally commenced the functioning of the English Association on the campus that functions under the title The Literati. The association spearheads curricular and extracurricular activities that lead to holistic development of the beneficiaries of the department. We've gathered here to be part of the first academic activity to be organized under the aegis of this association this academic year. Today, we've arranged for you an expert session on academic research, selection, segregation, and utilization of resources. I'm Sona Thomas, a third-year literature student, and I will be your host for the session. Before we formally commence the session, I would like to request all the participants to keep your mic muted unless you have an important comment to make. Now, let's begin by invoking the blessings of God Almighty. I invite Ajay Jackson of 3rd BA Literature for the prayer song.
Love thank thee, O God, with heart and hands and voices, who wonders things had done, in whom His word rejoices. Who from another sun had blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is us today. Oh, may this boundless God through all our life be nearer, with ever joyful heart, and blessed peace to cheer us, and keep us in His grace, and guide us when perplexed, and free us from all ill in this world and the next. Oh, praise and thanks to God, the Father now be given, the Son and Him who reigns with them in highest heaven, the one eternal God, whom earth and heaven adore, for thus it was, is now, and shall be evermore.
Though on a virtual space, I can see that it is indeed an august gathering. We have academicians, research scholars, students, and delegates from other universities as participants in this knowledge sharing event. I believe that this makes the gathering important and definitely purposeful. To welcome you all to this gathering, I invite Ms. Betty Marin Eapen, Assistant Professor of Department of English. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sona. Good evening, all. I'm extremely delighted to welcome all of you to the expert session on academic research, selection, segregation, and utilization of resources. We live in a world which gives access to umpteen number of resources. It's really difficult for us to choose from the n number of materials that are available before us. I'm doubtless that today's expert session would definitely help us to make this process easier. Without further ado, I would like to offer my greetings. I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Sindhu S. Nair, the principal of St. Michael's College, Cherthala, to the session. I bid welcome to Father Titus Augustine, the head of the Department of English, St. Michael's College, Cherthala, to the program. We have with us Mr. Raisin Matthew, Assistant Professor of English, Jain University, Bangalore. Mr. Matthew has completed his PhD in English from Lovely Professional University, Punjab. He has authored books, edited journals, and published research papers in reputed journals. We are grateful to him for accepting our invitation. Sir, we wholeheartedly welcome you to the session. A word of welcome to Mr. Sam Johnson, Assistant Professor of English, St. Michael's College, Cherthala, who has worked meticulously behind the smooth conduct of the program. I welcome you, sir. I welcome all the august virtual audience on the behalf of the Department of English. I welcome all my colleagues and students to the session. I hope you'll find the session highly engaging, fruitful, and beneficial for your future ventures. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, let's move on to the most important part of the event, the experts talk. We have here with us Dr. Raisin Matthew to lead the expert session. Dr. Raisin is an assistant professor of English at Jain deemed to be University, Bangalore, Karnataka. He completed his PhD in English from Lovely Professional University, Punjab, on the manifestation of liminality in the works of George Saunders. He also has a master's degree in public administration from ITNU, New Delhi. Apart from publishing various research papers in reputed journals and presenting at international and national conferences, his enthusiasm for research and creative writing has contributed to the publication of three academic edited books: The Post-Truth Era, Literature and Media 2021, Literature, Media and Society, Scholarly Perspectives 2021, and Identity, Quest and Questions 2022. Besides, he has authored two books: Sapphire, The Breeze of Love, published in the year 2021, and In Between, Liminal Stories 2022. His research interests are in the areas of contemporary literature, liminality, post-truth, identity, gender, and religious studies. On behalf of the department and everyone gathered here, I welcome Raisin sir to lead the session. Sir, please.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Sonia, for the wonderful introduction, and Professor Betty also. Thank you for the introduction. Um, Good evening, everyone. So, first of all, I thank Sam Johnson, sir, for inviting me to this wonderful session organized by the Department of English at St. Michael's College, Cherthala. And I also thank the principal of the college, the head of the department, and other faculty members for supporting Sam sir for organizing this session. Also, I would like to thank all the participants who have joined in this through this platform, and also I hope through YouTube to listen to the topic which I would like to share today. So, shall I begin by sharing the slide? Is it visible to you now? Yeah, okay. Is it full screen now? Yeah, okay. So it's already 5:10. I'm not wasting your time. We'll directly begin the session. So as you see in the screen, I've titled the topic is academic research, selection, segregation, and utilization of resources, which I believe would cover the main topics related to the research. We will have 4 sections which will give you an overall idea on the significance and relevance of research in the contemporary world. So for an easy purpose for division, I have just divided it into 4. First one as academic research, significance of presentation and publication. Second one, journal selection, how to identify fake journals. And third, research ethics, significance and challenges. And fourth, open access resources, utilizing resources for better and effective research, for conducting our research. So if you have noticed the subtopics, it is arranged in a flow and having an interconnection between each other. As the first step, we will discuss why presentation and publication in academic research is significant. Then we will move on to exploring the different ways of identifying the vast kind of journals that we have, the many journals that we have. And as a next step, we will see important points to be noted while doing or conducting our research and during the publication period, especially focusing on research ethics, the ethics that we have to follow. And at last, we will see some useful resources that can help us in gathering information for literature review, discussion, etc. So all these are connected to each other and is in a track that can provide some information on research. So altogether, we have titled it as academic research, selection, segregation, and utilization of resources. And the main objective of this particular session, as it was mentioned in the brochure, I believe so, it is to understand the significance and challenges of academic research, journal selection, and research ethics, and also to discuss the utilization of open access resources for better and effective research. So I think that after each section, we have 4 sections, parts. So after each sections, I can take some maximum of 1 or 2 questions so that it won't be a continuous lecture of that kind. So we will have some gaps also. We will have some time to interact in between. So after each section, I will just pause for some time so you can ask me some questions related to what we already discussed in those particular parts. Okay, this is just the repetition of the same, the 4 divisions. Okay, part 1 is academic research. So what is your understanding about academic research? If you are a BA undergraduate student, you will have some idea or perspective about research because of the project that you are required to submit towards the end of your course, towards the end of third or fourth year. So the same way, if you are a master's student, in the same way, you will have a little more idea because you have to prepare a dissertation towards the end of your second year. In case of if you are a PhD scholar, you will have a wider knowledge about the same because you are into the world of research by searching for literature review, different papers that they have, many other authors have written connected with your topic of your PhD, and searching for suitable findings that others have found in your specific topic. So it differs according to how engaged you are into the field of research. So my perspective about academic research was from the perspective of a scholar. When I did my PhD, I was really worried. I was tensed and was working hard day and night to write papers related to my thesis, and continuously struggling to find a suitable journal or publisher to publish my work. So sometimes after a long wait of 6 to 7 months, I would get sometimes a rejection letter or through mail. Then again, I revise the paper, get some help from some of the professors and guide, and send to another publisher, hoping that time it will work and they will just select the papers. So meanwhile, the end-term presentations in the university will give equal pressure to complete a thesis, chapters, and also all the works related to that. So research was all about writing thesis papers, chapters, research papers, and presenting papers. So after that, later, towards the end of the second year, I can say, or end of the second year or beginning of third year, I began to explore more ways to showcase my research. I began to think from the perspective of an editor, of a reviewer, and also a person who can share knowledge to others, what I have gathered from those years. Slowly, I began to change my perspectives on how I looked at the world of research in front of me. Please don't think that it was out of the pressure that the university gave. There was equal pressure, but some of the publications, like books, was really out of passion, because I was really interested to publish or create something out of what I gather from many informations which I gather, right? So from those informations, I wanted something of my own during the period of my research. So now it has slightly been changed when I began teaching my students here in this university from the perspective of a teacher or a professor. Let me say that I look into how research can be incorporated to a classroom, how I can help my students by incorporating research to their academic details, that's what they learn, how to enhance their thinking abilities, how to enhance their presentation skills, defending abilities, or we can say the individuality of each and every student that I teach. So I try to see research as a tool. Now I see research as a tool to be attached to classroom teaching and learning atmosphere. So when we consider education, we have that we know that there was a past. As you see in the slide, there was a past, there is a present, and there is a possible future for education. In the past, we had some, like if you see this picture on the screen, you can notice that the first column, 2 pictures are there. In the past, we had a teacher who uses physical objects to teach students without adequate infrastructure or any kind of resources that we have today. But in the second set of pictures, we have technology that aids us to the teaching learning process, which makes our work much easier than before. And we came to know about the vast possibilities of online and virtual learning techniques and more models during the pandemic. And we try to continue with it as we are doing right now. So, but in future, when we are thinking about the next generation, it is expected to have robots teaching our students, or we can say that what we experience partially these days, like AI, artificial intelligence, that will take up the roles, most of the roles of a teacher. And I believe that most of the teachers are worried about that particular situation. So as we know, there is an ongoing struggle between artificial intelligence and human intelligence. It is of no doubt that artificial intelligence is far better than human intelligence because of the speed and accuracy, high capacity that it has. As we have noted through some science fiction movies, or some scientists foresee, there is a threat that AI can bring to the human community soon, in the near future, without much waiting. Yeah, okay. So when we deal with education, as I was saying right now, in the past, or sometimes these days too, we focus on acquiring knowledge, just acquiring knowledge. But we are in a peak time to change from acquiring knowledge to acquire plus contribute knowledge to the society. It is not enough to just acquire all the knowledge by mugging at whatever the professor says or the teacher says, or whatever source that we can use to gain knowledge. But these days, it is very important to contribute knowledge from our side, to create something of our own. And here appears the question, the importance of the question: what is the significance of research in education? When I was trying to compare both research and education, I was able to equate many aspects of both the fields. As you know, research is a systematic investigation by defining and redefining problems, formulating hypotheses, and suggesting solutions by collecting, organizing, and evaluating data, and also by providing findings, solutions, and suggestions based on research. So what does it ultimately do, or what should be the outcome of each research so that it can be connected to something? That was the question. So we explore problems in the society, right? We gather information by applying different methods, finding the gaps and solutions, and try to resolve the issues, and in a way understand, highlight, and point out the problems in our society to the authorities concerned. So isn't that what we do in a good and impactful research? I believe so. That is the main focus for that we need to give for our research that we do. If we equate, you can see this Bloom's taxonomy pyramid, right? So if we equate Bloom's taxonomy that we always value in matching our course and program outcomes, teachers may know about it, we try to make the students remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and produce a new or original work of their own. So why not apply the same in classroom learning atmosphere, where research becomes a base and an aim of a particular course that the students do while learning some of the interesting topics in the class, rather than studying it for the sake of writing for the examination? Why can't we frame research questions out of it? discuss some perspectives on what to learn, find some interesting gaps or ideas that you can explore from your side and contribute from your side, suggest your points to the world rather than just suggesting to the teacher or your peer members, your friends in your class. So here is my point, the first point in the first part of our talk or of our discussion. In the present world of open learning, when free information resources, when it is freely available to all, what is the point of limiting our wonderful thoughts or ideas to just four walls of a classroom? Why can't it be shared to the entire world so that someone who is interested in your ideas will definitely benefit from what you have written or what you have presented? So from such perspective of combining research and education, we gradually grow from acquiring knowledge, from a point of acquiring knowledge to creating knowledge. From students, from being a student itself, we try to contribute knowledge from our side. You contribute to society from what you learn, and I believe that it is more powerful and realistic than the answers that you write for the exams, which ultimately goes and gets dumped somewhere without any clue of who reads after your examiner. So if you try to explore your subject that you learn from the perspective of research, you automatically end up with creating responsible, accountable, authentic, and specific and systematic research that you have. So in classroom, you make some questions, research-based questions, focused questions. You discuss among the students, among your friends and teachers. You find the gaps and solutions that you have found out from your research that you have done during your course period, and you suggest some ideas from your side or your findings from your side, so that you create something from your side after your course, after you learn your course, just not just ending with learning, but creating after learning your topics. So I'll just focus on this. Yeah, what is research? It has to be specific. What in the way I have said, it has to be authentic. It has to be accountable, and it has to always contribute some knowledge to the society. That should be the main idea behind research. So in the present scenario of education and professional life, contributing something from your end is very crucial. These days, recruiters and employers look for students, candidates with skills, contributions, and good communication skills. For that, paper presentations and exposure to academic and professional world is very, very essential, because we are living in a world where we compete with many other students, many other competitors who may have more exposure, more presentation skills, more ideas through the different sources that they get. So it is important to explore sources. It is important to explore sources to write research papers. As you can see in the slide here, on the screen, I've just noticed some points on how a research paper has to be. It should have a title, abstract, keywords, introduction, literature review, research gap, research methodology, etc. Some discussions, findings. And if you're a literature student, or if you are a student from any other course, try to take at least one interesting topic that you have learned during your undergraduate period. If you're an undergraduate student, or if you're doing a master's course, take some interesting topic from there. Try to work on it. Try to give some presentations. going to some other universities, going to some other colleges that conduct international conferences and national conferences. There are wide possibilities, and also competitions are also held for undergraduate and master students for paper presentation. So in these ways, you can enhance your knowledge. You get reviews to what you suggest to the world of researchers. You get updated about the topics, and you get good exposure by listening and speaking to other researchers, other students, and other professors from other universities. Okay, and if I again raise the same question, why presentations and publications, I can give you 3 points, 3S, that which I call. First one is sharing knowledge by publishing journal articles. That was what we just discussed. Publishing book chapters. There is another possibility to publish in books which are edited, and publishing books also, which master students and PhD students can think about, and through publication of your research papers or presentation of your papers is also appreciated. And second one is showcasing knowledge. It is equally important to showcase what you have done. If you just publish and just sit calm and quiet that I have taken some publication, I have got some publication, what is the actual purpose of that particular publication? Who will get to know about it other than your friends and your teachers? So it is very important to showcase through different platforms that are available, like LinkedIn, ResearchGate, Academia, Google Scholar. You can make some accounts there. You can showcase what you have done. It can be presentations. It can be your creative works also, which is connected to your portions, your syllabus that you study, and also research articles that you write. And from the perspective of teachers who aspire to be teachers, API score, academic performance index, that is also very important, because these days it is very much required to publish papers and increase your API scores, which also has some pros and cons, some advantages and disadvantages. We will discuss about it later. And here, for my students who they are having communicative English, I'm teaching them communicative English. So within the syllabus itself, I have included a portion like a topic like writing their article, whatever they wish, and they can begin a blog of their own, and they can post it there. They can post it on their LinkedIn also. It is mandatory to begin a LinkedIn account, because that increases their exposure to the world. They get to know about what is around and what is happening in their specialization, who all are talking about what is going around in that particular specialization that they would like to pursue in their future. And the third one is surpass knowledge, that you have by revising your works when you get review comments, suggestions, academic reviews from other people who read your work. So it helps in adding knowledge and improving your existing idea about the topic that you have researched. I would stress this particular point to the PhD scholars, if anyone is hearing me, because I have seen some scholars who just don't wish to discuss their topic with anyone else other than their guide. They say that my guide has told not to discuss with anyone else. I have witnessed such moments. Like some scholars have talked to me that we don't wish to talk or discuss with anyone else. Please don't depend on your guide alone. The world today is open to you, and there is nothing wrong in discussing your point or your perspectives, your ideas that you have with someone whom you think that they can give you some inputs to you. So it may be those inputs that help you to develop your points, your research questions, or can sometimes lead to interesting findings in your research paper or research projects that you do. So paper presentations and publications has its own importance because it connects your ideas to others for which you get some feedback and reviews. And here is a list of API scores suggested by UGC. We just have to focus on the first one, which is marked red, UGC CARE journals or peer-reviewed journals. For science and engineering, we have 8 points, and for language, humanities, English literature, etc., we have 10. And from a student perspective, we can also contribute a chapter to edited books, especially if you are masters, if you're pursuing masters in literature or any subject. For that, for language and humanities, we have 5 points. And for paper presentations, if it is international, truly international, conducted in any other country, it gives you 7 points. And if some international conferences which is held from your country, within your country, it is 5 points. And if it is a national conference, 3 points. And if it is conducted by some university or state within the state, it gives you 2 points. So it was just for a general idea. I have just noted this here. So how important it is for you if you are an undergraduate student, publishing papers, maybe level 1, low thing, maybe it is not much mandatory. Second, if you are a master's student, it is recommended to publish papers and do at least one presentation related to your dissertation that you would be writing towards the end of your course, second year. And for PhD, it is highly important, level 3. But recently, I think the previous month, UGC had already mentioned that it is not mandatory to publish papers. But according to me, it is really important to publish papers, because only if you publish papers, you will get to know what is the gap in your research. You will get to know about the review from editors, many reviewers of the journals, and many more ideas related to your research topic. And yeah, this is a cutout which I took it for mentioning. Not mandatory to publish in journals before final PhD thesis, UGC says. But it is a debatable topic, because these 2 articles also came recently. The second one, bogus research, trashy papers. We have many journals, predatory journals, fake journals, which call for papers and accept anything that you publish. So in such a perspective, the idea given by UGC is appreciable, because it is not, research is not meant to publish many things without knowing the value of the journal, value of the research, etc. But there is another point also why research matters. Publishing research papers in established journals and presenting at conferences has many benefits for a scholar. That is the point that you can see in the first article that on the screen. So that continues to be a debatable topic still now. Many support publishing papers, many support UGC saying it is not mandatory to publish papers. Anyway, it is recommended to publish paper because of the many things that we just discussed. So any questions based on what we just discussed before going to the second part? I can move on to the next part if you can give me 1 or 2 questions. I can take one or two questions.
Sir.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
So it was an excellent presentation. Your command in English was really, really good.
Oh, thank
sir,
you.
I have a question, sir. How to identify whether it's a reliable journal, Like you said, no, fake journals are there, and UGC has given every year we get like that. Some journals are moving out. So how can I identify that it is a reliable journal so that I can publish my article there? Because if I know I'm working so much for that, but as you said, if it goes to some other hand, what is the consequences? Kindly share your views
We will
regarding this.
discuss
Thank you,
about
sir.
in part 2 when we discuss about the identifying fake journals. We will discuss about it. I will explain about it.
Okay, sure, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is there any question based on the first part that we have discussed so far? Okay. I believe there are no questions, or if you have, you can just raise towards the end. And with your permission, I'm just moving on to the next part. That is a journal selection, how to identify fake journals, as ma'am inquired, just asked. How we write papers, we know that the input that we have given and the hard work that we have taken to write a paper is maybe day and night work along with our other works. But at last, if that goes and gets dumped into some fake journal, it is of all no use at all. So I have met people who have written good papers but have ended up in fake journals. So that is a concern especially in the Indian scenario, where we have many fake journals around us, many cloned versions of good journals, and many predatory journals, where we may see them very prominent other than the good journals. They advertise a lot. They send us emails to give us papers from your side, and we think that they may be genuine. We send our good papers to them, well-researched papers to them, and at last, maybe after 2 to 3 months, we may see that that was not a proper journal, that was a predatory journal. So as you see in this particular statistical data that is shown here, a graph, India is highest in the list of predatory journals. So why is it happening? We have many journals. We have many journals because many crooked-minded people behind these fake journals or predatory journals take it as a business. Only to make money. That is the main problem behind many predatory journals and fake journals that we see around. Okay, first, in publishing research papers, we need to know that there are some category of journals that we have, maybe in humanities and in science and engineering also. The first list of journals comes under Scopus indexed journal. They are called Scopus indexed journals, which is of high ranking. It is also divided to Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 journals according to the citations and many other criteria that the journals try to maintain. And the second list, along with Scopus index journals, we have Web of Science journals, usually science journals, and we have arts and humanities journals also in the list of Web of Science indexed journals. And the third category is what we are more into, that is UGC CARE journals. Earlier it was UGC approved journals, and now it has been upgraded to UGC CARE journals, where UGC accepts some journals and puts that in the list, and if that is in the list, we can say that it is a UGC CARE publication, which is accepted and recognized by UGC. And next, fourth one, we have many peer-reviewed journals, normal journals, which is not into any of these three categories. And fifth is a possibility to publish in edited books. So we have 5 categories as of now: Scopus, Web of Science, UGC CARE, peer-reviewed, and fifth one, edited books. Okay, how to recognize fake journals? An easy way to recognize fake journals is to see the layout, see the font size, see the style and the information that they provide in their websites. The second one is to search in the databases. As I just showed here, we have three main databases, that is Scopus, Web of Science, and UGC Care. So we can search for the journal names there. I will show you how to search it. We can search in Scopus, Web of Science, and UGC Care journals. And the third one is cross-check the journal details in the website and in the database. So if the database, if there is a link and that link goes to some other website, maybe that is the correct or actual original website of that particular journal. The website that was shared to you by the journal, whoever handles the journal, may be or may not be an original version of the journal website. And the next one is verify that journal has no cloned versions. We will see that, how to verify whether it is a cloned version. Maybe the same name, in the same name, with slight changes, there will be another website for the journal. And fifth one is just check how long it takes to publish your paper. If it is written like 24 hours, 72 hours, 48 hours publishing journal, just think that is totally a predatory journal. Just no chance of being a good journal. And the sixth one is publishing through agent. Some agents will be there more. It automatically leads to fake or clone journals. As you can see here on your screen, this is actually a journal where many professors, many research scholars have published their work. It says that it is UGC Care approved, Group 2 multidisciplinary journal, having impact factor 6.1, etc. And towards the end also, you can see in bold letters it is written UGC Care approved. Just see that if some websites highlight that it is UGC Care more than that is required, like this, the only projection is UGC Care, nothing else is there, right? So you can gradually understand from the layout, you can gradually understand from how they advertise themselves, how they try to showcase their journal website to you. This is the same journal, the page. You can see publication period within 24 hours after receiving the publication fee. So they focus on the publication fee, and they will accept whatever in 24 hours, and it will be published within 24 hours. And 12 issues per year. That means one issue, 1 month, and it is multidisciplinary. There is no scope for that particular journal. It accepts everything, multidisciplinary. And also you can see that 2,000 rupees, and they are highlighting how to pay on their homepage itself. That usually doesn't happen for good journals. And here, this is also another journal where many professors and scholars have published their work during their PhD period. Journal of Sine University of Architecture and Technology. Actually, the original website is going to Chinese university, Sine University, their journal. But here, what you see is they have just projected that they are Scopus indexed journal, in the first category journal, by giving the screenshot of the source details from Scopus preview. They're in the home screen itself, they are projecting these kind of details. So you can know from these ideas or fake ideas that the journal team, the team of the journal, that they try to influence you, saying that we are UGC, we are Scopus journal, Scopus Index journal. No good journal would highlight these things in their homepage itself like this. Only the details of Scopus, only the details of UGC Care. And this is another one, Journal of Shanghai University. Actually, this also goes to a website in Chinese. And here also you can see they have posted the screenshot of the journals indexing in Scopus, source details, Journal of Shanghai University, and they are just they have just posted here. And what is the role of UGC Care for for a journal that is published from China. That idea should go in your mind when you see such websites. Why should they highlight UGC Care Group 2? They don't have any contact with, may not have any contact with the UGC, or they are not directly attached with any policies of UGC Care. So why should they project that it is UGC Care? So from such thinking, we can know that this particular website of the journal is a cloned version of the journal, and it is published from India itself. That is the idea that we get here. And here, yeah, I'm just moving the screen. I believe that you can see the screen now also. I've just moved on to the browser. Yeah, here, this is the journal which I was referring to. Yeah, indexing 6.1, indexing site factor, everything they have just mentioned in the homepage. And from the layout itself, we can see that no good journal will make their homepage like this, projecting everything like this. And next, another one, a journal published from India. This is a cloned journal. Here also, they have highlighted UGC Care Group 1 in the first sentence itself. And they don't have any specific scope of the journal. Everything is included: arts, science, management, medical science, pharmacy, everything. And they say some review policies, etc. But whatever article you send, they will accept it. That is for sure. And how to identify it? We can go to this particular website. This is the website that is controlled by UGC Care, for UGC Care journals. Here you can see alert, list of cloned journals, Group 1 and Group 2. For Group 1, yeah, this is the Group 1 journals that UGC mentions as cloned journals. The first one is the original. On the left side, you see the original version of the original details of the journals, and towards the right side, you see the cloned version of the journals. Here you can see many journals that are highlighted are cloned versions of the same journal, which is actually publishing in a good way. So these cloned journals are a challenge to researchers, for students to publish their articles. So yeah, here you can see the journal which I just referred to. And Kala Sarovar, I have seen many professors and scholars who have published in Kala Sarovar, thinking that they may be genuine, thinking that that is the original version, but maybe they might have been cheated by those fake journal people. And Kala Journal of Indian Art, History, Congress, etc. These clone journals is very difficult to get. We are not able to identify it very soon, because they publish the original version itself publishes as a print version. Some journals may not have a proper website. The original one also may not have a proper website. So what we get is a printed version, and we think that that is the actual journal. We have sent papers to the actual journal, for which they have made some fake websites. And the same way, Group 2, here you can see Ignem, yeah, journal, which we just saw, that is actually published in the language French language, by another publisher. Here from India, we have a cloned version by the business people who try to manipulate all these things. And many have also published in some journals like Infokara. I've heard this from many scholars, Infokara journal. Yeah, one same UGC Care Group 2 journal, Adalya journal, right? So here also you can see from UGC Care itself, you can find which is the cloned version. Most of the journals, they have found out which is the original and which is the cloned version. And here you can see another journal of University of Shanghai for Science and Technology. Here, as I said, here also they have projected UGC Care Group 2 Scopus, the screenshot of the source details from Scopus Preview, and they have written many details which seem to be similar to the original journal website. And here also you can see interesting thing. Within 24 hours, 24 hours, your paper gets accepted. So, and Infocara research here also 72 hours. 72 hours within 24 hours after receiving the publication fee. So I believe that all these fake journals are controlled by at least one or two single people who know all these things, who know well to cheat and take advantage of the pressures from universities and UGC for PhD, the criteria to fulfill the PhD criteria. So please don't get involved, or just don't send your papers blankly and blindly, believing in any person or agents that come and call for papers. Sometimes some international conferences conducted by some colleges also, maybe the organizers may not be aware of this. I have seen one from Mumbai. They conducted a very good international conference. They called for papers and they tried to publish in a journal which was actually a cloned version of the journal. They did not know how to recognize it. So it is very important to recognize, to segregate these journals, to publish in good journals. And this is another version of cheating, manipulating things. Fake advertisements on opportunities to publish your paper in Scopus UGC journals. You will get some messages. I used to get messages, so I just took a screenshot of it and displayed it for you. It says Scopus plus ESCI, that is WIS, Web of Science Journal, a journal of pharmaceutical negative results. And you can see it is Q4 Scopus journal. And it says within 15 days, time taken to publish the article is 15 days, just 15 days. If you give the money, they will do it. So that you can conclude as a fake thing. And here are many screenshots which I have taken to mention this. Here, Wesleyan Journal of Research journal, something they have mentioned it wrong. Actually, it's a Wesleyan journal published by a college in Northeast. Actually, the original version of the journal is very good that the college publishes, but some people, they have manipulated and they have made another source, and they have said that it is only print version of the journal, and it says multidisciplinary 4 issues per year, and you will get a printout. You will get a good printout which looks exactly same as the journal which is published by the original publisher. But actually, when some verification if some verification happens through university, university may not accept such publications. Okay, and how to verify the authenticity? We can note these websites, that is Scopus. I will just show it here. Yeah, this is Scopus preview. I have said that the first list of good journals comes in Scopus indexing. So here you can see many journals from all over the world, which is indexed in Scopus. Here you can either type subject area, or you can see, as you see, subject area, title, publisher name, or ISSN number. You can search it, and if it is included in Scopus, it will definitely be in the search list, in the list that is shown. And the second one, WOS, Web of Science journals. You can search in Google Web of Science, Clarivate, search, etc. You can give some keywords, and you will end up here, where you can search for the journal to verify the authenticity of the journal. And here also, if the journal says that it is indexed in EBSCO, you can go to this particular website to search for its authenticity. So it would be good if you can note down or take a screenshot of this particular websites, which will definitely help you to verify the authenticity of journals. And if I move on to the next, edited books, I may take some more time because we have just covered only half of the portions. I'm just focusing on this because this is more important and valuable for you. First thing, when you give your articles to publish your as chapters in edited books. The first point that you have to keep in mind is you have to check for the scope of the journal, if it is a journal, and scope of the edited book. Some journals or some books may accept anything, saying that it is multidisciplinary. But good books focus on specific topic or specific area of research or specialization in research for which they will invite scholars. So that is one point. Second one is editors and publisher. You have to there are different publishers like Routledge, CRC Press, Emerald Publishing, Springer, and there are many publishers from India also. Good publisher, normal publishers also. And the duration taken to publish is very, very important. Some books, some editors may say to you that we will publish within 1 month. How can they publish within 1 month without proper review and proper editing and proofreading? It takes time. It takes at least 4 months to proofread, to have some contact with the contributors, ask them to correct it, get back those papers, again proofread it, again proofread the first version draft of what they get from the publisher. So it's a long process. Some contributors who contribute books to edited books, they are in a rush to get the books published. But it is a helpless situation when if the editors are good, if they are trying to publish a good book, good edited book, they may take time. They may say that it will take 4 months, but it will actually take 1 year for you to get it published. It is not the problem of the editor, but it is the process which require to get it to be proofread. And the fourth one is whether proofread, edited, reviewed by editors or reviewers. And the fifth is quality of the publication, both the print quality, the layout of the book, and plus the content. You can refer to some previous publication done by the publisher, the editor, or the publisher. So you can identify what kind of books they publish. What is the idea behind, or is it just business, or are they publishing good books, or whether you will get good publication if you contribute some money for the publication charge. And next one is nominal charge according to the publisher and publication process. From India, it is if you publish some edited books, if you contribute some chapters to edited books, definitely you may have to contribute some amount from your side for publishing, but that doesn't mean that those books are really not good. It has a financial side, right? So that takes in. But some books like published from Routledge or Emerald or Springer, they have provisions to give you free publishing, but those books will have high charge also, as they are published from different countries. And the seventh one is previous experience of the editor or publisher in publishing. That is also very important. These are some of the books which I have edited. It almost took 8 to 1 year to publish each book. First one took almost 7 to 8 months, and second, it was along with the first book, so it took 8 to 9 months. And the third book took almost 1 year to complete all the works. And the fourth one, I'm working on it. And even though the contributors just mail me what is the progress, when we will get the book, I can't just say that it will be published the next day or next week. I can, but who will do the editing works or proofreading work? So it takes some time. That is the idea that I try to convey. Yeah. Is there any doubts regarding part 2, which we have already completed? You may raise some questions if you have.
Sir, if I may.
Yes.
Sir, actually, I have posted 3 questions in the chat box.
I couldn't see because the complete screen is covered with my slide.
Okay, sir. So I'll start with the third question. So we have the practice of research proceedings being published with a DOA and all.
Yes.
So does it have any value, sir? Like, can it be cited as publication?
It can be, but if that is considered along with your presentation, the API score may not be considered for that conference proceeding. That is my idea about it. If both comes. because it's a conference proceeding, not a publication as such, right? Because of that.
Okay, sir. And so you have already mentioned about like why it takes so much of time to publish one article. Like as of now, the minimum time is 8 to 1 year. Yeah, but are there any good journals, Scopus index journals that publish within a minimal amount of time? Are there any?
There are UGC care publications, journals, which publish in, I think, 2 months, minimum 2 months. They were, but gradually they were also taken out of the list. So they are right now, I don't know whether any journals are there in UGC care list, but for Scopus indexed journals, some journals may conduct their international conferences. If your paper gets selected through international conference, it is way easier for you to publish in such journals rather than waiting for their general call for their first volume or second volume. If they announce some international conference, you can send your papers, but there also you have to wait for maybe 6 to 7 months total waiting is there. But comparing to the normal editions, the volumes that they publish, this will be much faster. And there are some journals, if you send your paper, they will not reply to you. And if you continuously ask for their review, after 6 to 7 months, they will just write one word, rejection. That's it. There are some kind of journals like that too, which will definitely waste your time.
Okay, sir. So getting to the first question, I think it's the most asked question in the academia. Like, why exactly are good journals and articles not open access? Like, they are charged. They need a subscription. And also, in addition to this question, I want to know, are there any open libraries, public libraries that have access to such uh, journals? Because most of the public libraries, they don't have. We need to have this institutional backup in order to access these articles. So if we are not affiliated to any institution, how can we access these journals?
Right now, Indian government of India is trying to give one subscription, because one India, one subscription, one new policy has come where they associate with many publishers to have just single subscription for all the journals. I believe it's journals and some other subscriptions which you need for, I think, magazines or something. So that is one positive approach from the side of government of India. And as you said, there are no, to my knowledge, there are no libraries that give you free access to these journals, like which are published by publishers like Routledge or Springer or such kind of international publications. They charge because there is a business side in that too. They have they have to pay their reviewers, they have to pay their guest editors. Sometimes I believe so. It is like that. So they have a financial side which has to be taken care. Maybe because of that they charge for each article maybe some amount of in dollars we have seen. And there are Scopus index journals like Rupkada or any other journals which is published from India and also abroad, which are open access. We can access to any of their volumes without paying any fee to. So both categories are there. And then Routledge, Taylor and Francis also, which charge for their articles, which they publish through their website and different sources. They also have an open access version of some selected articles, but you just have limited articles through them.
So just one more question, last question. So there is a business side to it, but are the writers benefited from it?
Business, no, in no way. Writers have benefited not in the financial side, but as we say, in the API scores and their increments, etc., from the university side. In such a perspective, they are benefited not from any royalty base. Maybe if they publish any books through these publishers, they may get, I think, 7 to 6% or 10% of royalty.
Thank you so much for patiently answering all the questions.
Can I move on to the third part? That is research ethics. I will be just moving on with this part.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Only one question I have in this second session. Can I ask, sir?
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Sorry for interrupting. So, always I see this without any publication fee. Like the time is going. It can be even 4 months or 24 hours. Is it good? I don't know how authenticated are they. And another thing is they don't have any specialization, as you said. It is interdisciplinary. How can we believe them? Or I always have a doubt. Will they use my article somewhere else? So that is my doubt, sir. Sorry, sir. Without any publication fee, that is the main thing over here.
Without any publication fee, also we have peer-reviewed journals. But these days, universities give importance to journals which are affiliated to or indexed in Scopus or Web of Science or UGC, at least UGC care journals. Peer-reviewed are also considered in Kerala. I believe that universities consider peer-reviewed journals, and if they don't have any fee, it is okay to publish through such journals because they don't have any. They don't try to manipulate anything. That is the original version of the journal. My concern was just about clone journals or predatory journals that try to get your money and publish it to some fake websites for the sake of publishing. So in such a way, you lose your paper. If you publish your article in good original peer-reviewed journal, even though it doesn't have any indexing as such, I cannot say that it is a wrong way of publishing. It is a right way of publishing itself.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. With your permission, I'm just moving to research ethics, the third part. I will just move. I'll be just moving a little bit faster as we are approaching the time. Yeah. Research ethics, along with these publications, articles, etc. While we are conducting research, it is very important to focus on research ethics, because out of pressure from universities, when as a teacher, maybe teachers here can relate to me. We have pressures from college, we have pressures from universities, and we have pressure to increase our API scores based on our publications and presentations. But the only thing is that even though we are pressurized, we have to move in the right direction without making fake results, manipulating data in the terms of science, statistical data, etc. Some used to manipulate to make it quick to get the required the results, findings, etc. They will sometimes manipulate the data, and these pressures will affect the transparency of our publication, and also if it is verified from the side of the university, if some person who knows all these verify from the side of the university, automatically towards the end it may get rejected even if you have published something. So it is very important to have ethics in publishing, because ethics can be directly linked to one important point that I would like to share here, that is plagiarism. That is most happening thing that in our publication process. We will just move on with these things. Authorship, I will just discuss about plagiarism because that is most important. Here, authorship and contributorship, I have just made a slide like this. Co-author issues, maybe consider that you are one author and there is one or two other authors. There will be some issues between co-authors, right? Actually, the first author has to be the author who has contributed more for that particular paper, and accordingly it gets distributed. But sometimes in universities, out of many problems in journal politics or something, pressures, we try to give guest or gift authorship to many, maybe our superiors, many other who are directly related to our promotion, etc. There can be some pressures, but that is not coming under a proper ethical way of writing papers, publishing papers. And guest authorship, when we invite some prominent person to be to be a co-author in our paper, thinking that if he is there, we will get, it is an easy way to get published in Scopus Indexed or UGC career journals. So guest authorship is also a problem here. And ghost authorship, as you might know, people who write for others, especially in the Indian scenario, we have PhD thesis which is written by many. The PhD theses are there in the market to be sold. That is the pathetic situation that we have today in our country. Not every university, some universities, maybe it is not connected with the university. It is the problem of individuals that handle these issues. Okay, I'm just moving on with these things. Yeah, plagiarism. Just a definition about plagiarism, what it is for the undergraduate students, if they are not familiar to this. It is using other person's ideas. That's it. Other person's ideas or their methods, process, their findings or their results, or at least their words, without completely acknowledging the author, the original author who has written it, or the source where it is published. That is the whole idea about plagiarism. And it also has severe ethical and legal consequences, because it may affect our if you are a guide, it will affect the professor in their professional life. It will affect, and for students also some problems are there. And in India, it is overall it is accepted. Below 10% is accepted when you find similarity check. If you find some 10% similarity or below, it is acceptable. It is acceptable. And if it is above 10 to 40, and above 40 to 60, and above 60, we have different problems associated with it. So penalties for students, I have just pasted this from the UGC regulations notification. Level 1, similarity about 10% to 40%. That says that such student shall not be given any mark, or the plagiarized script shall be asked to submit or revise within 6 months. And the second, the 40 to 60%, also there is a problem with it. Script shall be again revised within 1 year, not exceeding 18 months. And if the increase in similarity is there, above 60%, there also problems are there. And penalty for faculty, staff, and researchers are also there for associated with the higher education sector. About 10 to 40%, they may be asked to withdraw manuscript and shall not be allowed to publish any work for a minimum of 1 year. And if it is about 40 to 60%, they shall not be allowed to publish any work for a minimum of 2 years, and shall be denied the right to 1 annual increment, and shall not be allowed to be a supervisor for PG, UG, etc. And if it is about 60%, shall not be allowed to publish any work for a minimum of 3 years, and shall be denied the right to 2 successive annual increments, and shall not be allowed to be a supervisor for any of PhD or MPhil, PG, etc. So there are some complications, severe actions which UGC and the universities will take if plagiarism is found and high similarity is found in your works. Okay, we have different kinds of plagiarism associated with authorship. We may write the wrong author in the place of where we cite the author's name, word by word, copy pasting things, and paraphrasing. If we change the word structure, orders, etc., Still, if we don't cite properly the person who has contributed that particular knowledge idea, that also comes under plagiarism. And if you take ideas, if even though we change basic structure of what it is, how it is written, and even if it is unintentional, you may not be intentionally doing it. Sometimes we may forget to quote some or cite others. That also indirectly or directly comes to plagiarism issue. And next thing is the very crucial thing is self-plagiarism. When we try to quote our own words or ideas again in another paper that we write after the first one. If one is published and we quote the same thing or write many parts of it and again publish it, that comes under self-plagiarism. And in order to avoid self-plagiarism, we are able to quote some of the ideas if it is relevant for the second paper also, second article also. But the only thing is that we have to cite it properly, cite the publication where it is actually published. That is the idea behind this particular slide, which I have presented here. And plagiarism teachers to lose jobs, students, their registration says new HRD norms. So how serious it is, you know, from this particular newspaper posting. Yeah, there are 4 ways to avoid plagiarism. First one is the plain thing, that is, do not copy paste. Second one is try to provide in-text citation. There are different things, in-text citations that we do within the article, in-text citations, and also references. Towards the end, we quote the whole details of, we present the whole details of where and when it was published, all those details referring to magazines or newspapers or journals. So the third one is paraphrase sentences. Rather than quoting it as such, we can paraphrase sentences, but the important thing is you have to cite if you have taken some ideas, some words from any other source. And the fourth one is checking plagiarism for similarity check. You can use Turnitin, we can use softwares like Original, or those two are paid versions, which you need to apply through your university or college. And we have Check Plagiarism or Plagiarism Checker, which is freely available. Maybe their accuracy is not so 100%, I can say, may not be 100%, but it can help you to a limit. So the next thing is what should be cited, what not. How can we avoid plagiarism is okay, but what should be cited? Quotations, opinions said by someone, or predictions, whether directly quoted or paraphrased, should be cited. Statistical data should be cited. Visuals, if you're taking some pictures from Google Images, you have to see the source. You have to see from who has posted it, which website or which magazine has posted that particular visual. So if you're taking it and using it for your article, you have to give the source from where you have taken it. And another authors' theories and case studies, and authors' procedures or findings, and direct experimental methods and research, whatever comes in the research papers published by the other person, the other author. Yeah, and there are some exclusions. If all quoted works either falling under public domain or reproduced with all necessary permissions need not be cited. If it is a general rule or general idea or theory, you may not quote it. All small similarities, minor similarities of 2 words, 3 words, that can be avoided. And all generic terms, laws, standard symbols, and standard equations are also excluded from the list of plagiarism. Yeah, this is a notification that was published by UGC saying that research and publication ethics, there should be a paper for coursework for all the PhD students from 2019 August onwards. So I believe that all those who have joined after that has gone through this particular paper, research and publication ethics. Yeah, okay. So do you have any doubts regarding it? I will just show the Turnitin plagiarism report. If you can see my screen, this is a Turnitin similarity check which I did for my paper, which was published in a journal. So you can see some highlighted words, sentences there. But I have quoted it. I have cited it. Actually, I have cited it. So there is no problem of plagiarism that comes there. And some words like which is there on it that will show exactly similarity will be shown, but that is also not a problem. Yeah, here also, if even though it is shown, I have cited it properly, so that is not an issue. Yeah, direct quotings, if it is not put under within the direct quotes, inverted commas, that will show, definitely it will show. But as I have cited it, it won't come under the problem of the issue of plagiarism. And towards the end, when you do such things, you can see what is the similarity. I had told you that below 10%, it is acceptable, right? So 8% was the similarity index, total similarity. So it was it was not a problem, and it will distribute from where all we had taken some the sources from which we have taken to furnish our paper. 7% internet sources, publications 3%, student papers 3%. So from different sources, less than 1%. So that was not an issue, because overall it was 8%. So this report you can take if you have access to Turnitin through your university or college. And one more, yeah. Any questions from what we have so far discussed from part 3? Okay, yeah. Anyone? Yeah, okay. I'll just move on to part 4 because we don't have time. I had told Sam sir that I will conclude within 1.5 hours, but I have just 5 more minutes for that. But maybe 10 minutes more, I will take it. Part 4 is open access resources, or some useful resources that you can go through on net for getting some literature review or whatever articles that you require to make your research paper. Okay, yeah, this was what I was referring to. Education Ministry to implement One Nation, One Subscription for open access to research papers. The ONOS, that was just from November 15th that came. That notification came, aims to provide countrywide access to national and international scientific and academic content. We have to wait for the details. This was the notification which was published by the Ministry of Education, Higher Education. It says that considering 70 publishers' resources under the first phase of ONS, first they have included 70 publishers to give access to their open access articles, etc. So that is one thing. So open access, what it means, like it gives you access to expand your learning, your knowledge, find suitable materials or research contents to furnish your research. It gives an idea to it helps to for rapid dissemination of information, quick information within one click. The cost can be saved from the side of scholars, students, and also the university. And it is reproducible and inclusive, and also improve the quality of research. If we are not able to access to many articles, say, as one participant had mentioned, many articles in many good journals are paid. So we don't have direct access to those journals. There are indirect access, but direct access is not provided. So such cases, we cannot include many details that is necessary for our research. We may not be able to access to such information, right? So here are some of the details that you already know: Wikipedia, Britannica, Wikibooks, Google Scholar, etc., JSTOR, ResearchGate. There are some open access resources that you can see here, and some open access resources I have just mentioned. I have just I just pasted the logos of it. We will see how to make it. Yeah, how it is working. Yeah, even though I set Wikipedia, how to utilize it, many details may not be correct. Maybe that is why many we teachers say that don't depend on Wikipedia, but we can depend on Wikipedia to get access to journals, access to some important details within the article that is published in Wikipedia. Like here, you can see when you move on your cursor here, you will be directed to an article published by Kurup, and that is published in a book, I believe so, Mittal Publications. That is a chapter, if I am right. So using these things, citations within Wikipedia, you can go to the original version and can verify whether it is correct or not. So Wikipedia can be used to move to the original source, not from Wikipedia. We can use it as a tool to move to or get the direct access to such articles in journals. And second one is Britannica. The same way, you can just have some idea about it. And Wikibooks, where you get free access to some of the books which may be or may not be useful to you. And Google Scholar, it is very much recommended to have a Google Scholar account. If you have a Google account, you can easily make a Google Scholar account. And here, when you type some keywords, you will get a long list of articles published in different journals, so that you can directly access to the original version of that journal only if that is open access. So this cannot be considered as an open access source, but still I have included because many scholars may use it, like it will be useful for the scholars. And JSTOR, it includes both open access articles and also some paid versions, or you need some subscription through your university to access this particular JSTOR. There are some chapters or journals. I have just clicked here, content that I can access. I have clicked. If I click everything, it will display everything, which includes both open access and the other paid versions or subscription versions. And next is ResearchGate, where you can log in you can sign in to create your account. You can post your articles, which is published in any journals, good journals. So here also you can get access to many articles published by different people. Here, if you search with some keywords, the articles which is listed through ResearchGate will be posted here. It will be in the list here. So that is one source to access to such articles. You can refer to such articles. Still, this is not an open access thing. This is a community where you post your articles. And in the same way, ProQuest, that is another website which gives access to dissertations and theses all over the world. Here also you can see some Doctor of Philosophy, PhD thesis is posted. Some parts of the PhD thesis is posted, and I cannot say that completely this is open access, but you can get some idea, some relevant points within what is available through ProQuest. So the same way I was referring to ResearchGate, there is another social, like a community called academia.edu, where you can post your articles and you can read the articles, research articles by other people. You have to sign in and you have to make your account for this purpose. And many articles are also open access here because that is posted by the author itself. So it is also easily available. And the next one is Sage Open. I said that Sage is a publisher of journals and books, but majority of the articles published through many journals published by Sage, under the banner of Sage, it is not freely accessible, but it has an open access versions called Sage Open, where here you can see open access. You can refer to this particular article without giving any money from your side. You can pay without paying anything. So Sage Open is a method of accessing to open access articles. And the same way, Springer Open, as Sage has, Springer also has many journals which gives you access to articles without any charge. So here you can see many subjects: education, engineering, environment. I don't think, humanities and social sciences there. You may find literature topics sometimes in humanities and social sciences. In the same way, Elsevier, that is also a prominent, a first-ranked publisher of journals. Here also they have open archive, and also they have Science Direct, where some of the journals are under the open access resource list, where you can access the abstract, introduction, the article is visible to us. So this is one resource that you can rely on. This is a very wonderful thing that Elsevier has provided. And the next category comes from India, that is Shodhganga. As you can see in their logo itself, it says a reservoir of Indian thesis, right? All the majority, I won't say that all, majority of the universities have their account to upload the PhD thesis by their scholars when it is accepted, and this will be gradually published, uploaded in this website controlled by InflibNet, controlled by Government of India. So if you try to access this, I have just shown one thesis, a study of nature and sources of laughter, with special reference to the comic in Shakespeare by researcher Sharma US. All the details, everything is there. Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapith, that is the university. Here you can read all the chapters of the thesis. So many theses are available through Shodhganga. It is freely available, open access thing. It is freely available without any payment. And here, MGU, Mahatma Gandhi University, also has their own online thesis library, where you can access to all the thesis that is published through Mahatma Gandhi University. So here, when you search content-wise or scholars, if you can search guides, access number if you have. Better, you can search some words, keywords through the search button. You will be directed to some page like this, where you will see the first page of the thesis, Doctor of Philosophy, and all the complete version of the thesis is available here, including the contents. So you can refer to, and you can quote, and you can cite these PhD thesis that is freely available to you. And in the same way, British Library also has a platform called Ethos, eThesis online service, where many are open access, but some are not accessible to us. To access to the open access thesis, here you have to log in. You have to make an account, and you can see what is visible through it. In the same way, a Open University in UK also has such an option. This is a doctoral thesis which I just downloaded from that particular database provided by Open University. You can also download such interesting PhD thesis from their database. And if you are connected to science and engineering, you can access to this particular website, which gives access to open access articles. The same way, another one is Doge, Open Global Trusted, which gives access to open access journals and articles. Not all which all are affiliated or indexed through Doge. Not all the journals and not all the articles. And here is another source, which is a repository of research and progress that is connected with the research proposals. Before beginning your PhD, you have to give a synopsis, right? You have to give a research proposal to them. So here they have a research synopsis, which is uploaded to this particular website. The same way they upload PhD thesis, they upload not all the universities. Some universities upload their PhD research synopsis here into shows Gangotri. Yeah. And we have another one, open access thesis and dissertations, where many theses from America and Europe, especially UK, is available here. We can search, and it's most of, yeah, they are open access to you. You can click and you can read, and you can also cite from them. And this is Project Gutenberg, where you can find ebooks. There are over 60,000 free ebooks that Project Gutenberg provides you. You may not find all the books, but many books you can find through Project Gutenberg. And here is another one called Base and Open Edition Journals, where you can see the details and also access to the full article, whatever is required. And the next one is Open Door. That is actually a repository of a list of all the major databases or repositories country-wise. You can see country-wise databases and repositories which is available freely. Open access journals and open access things that are through those databases affiliated to such countries. So I have given India here. I've selected India, and you can see many open access things, databases are here. We will go to M. In M, Mahatma Gandhi University thesis online. You can find it here, right? And if you go to S, we just discussed Shodh Ganga. That is also available. So these, from this particular website, you can go through any databases which you would, digital resources that you can easily access as a open access. That is Open Door, DOAR. So this is very important. And as I said earlier, for some journals like Taylor and Francis, some publishers, they also have some articles or journals which give free access to the articles. So here I have just clicked only show open access. So whatever comes to me under the, I have given a keyword Shakespeare, which is easy to get many papers. Many papers are here, and you can see a symbol open access is visible here. So you can click on that and you can read the articles easily without giving any payment. And the second last one, which I have quoted, is MDPI, that directly is connected with science, engineering topics mainly. And the other one is Directory of Open Access Books, where you can find many books which is listed to this particular database. And I'm just going back. So these were the websites which I showed, which I had just now. I showed is also visible. The logos are visible here. So just made it to this particular slide because you can easily refer to by typing the name. Yeah, here all the websites which I have mentioned here was shown right now. And the last slide, there are some open educational resources which will benefit students of undergraduate and postgraduate students also, and even PhD students, scholars too. One is IGNOU's, you all know IGNOU's eGangosh, which is available through YouTube and their own platform, and Vidyamitra is their videos are available on various topics all the subjects are available. Swayam platform is a MOOC platform which is accepted and recognized by the government of India. NPTEL is also a similar kind of platform where you can take courses easily and you can add it to your profile. So Swayam is highly recommended by government of India and universities because it helps students to go beyond what they learn from their syllabus and the limits of their course that they get from their college or university. And next is Swayam Prabha in the same way. And edX and Coursera, they are from abroad, different way of giving resources. You can access to the videos, you can access to the details that they provide, but if you want certificate, you have to pay. That is the only thing with edX and Coursera. But many universities, my university gives free access to students to Coursera specifically, and they are given at least three courses per subject, so that they, towards the end of the course, they are supposed to get at least 3 certificates from Coursera. So universities can directly give subscriptions to Coursera or Coursera. It is actually good. edX also is a similar kind of education, open education resource. I say that it is open education resource because the resources are available. Only thing is, if you want to get certificate, you have to give payment if you don't have subscription through your university. Okay, that was all from my part. If you have any questions to raise, you can just ask me. Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
a second.
Thank you. It was an excellent presentation.
Thank you so much.
It was an eye-opener, I should say, because so many new information I got through this. And my doubt over here is, as you said, no, sir, in ResearchGate, some person have requesting my article. It's like this. Can I speak like this? Okay. A person who's requesting my article, but my article, the original source, like Sage, it's not an open source over there. So when I give it to them, like, or when I upload it, it is asking should it be public or private. So public means others can also see. Private means only the person who requested can see. So I don't know whether it is against the rule of the Sage. Can I give it as a public, or is it wrong from my side to do it?
It is, according to my knowledge, it is against the rule of Sage if it is not an open access article provided by Sage. You are not supposed to violate their terms and policies. You have to just check the terms and policies that is referred in their website.
Okay, but can I share it to the person who asked it, like for their research purpose, or is it also?
I think you have to get consent from your publisher, because in their website they give access only if that is paid, right? If someone pays for that. So from the side of author, I don't think that, I don't know really. I think you have to get clarification from the publisher by sending a mail.
Sure, sir. The second thing is about copyright. I heard somewhere telling that do not accept or do not send your publication to a journal who is asking for copyright form. So can you give clarification regarding this?
I don't think so, because most of the journals, those articles, they take the copyright because, especially like Sage or Routledge, they need the copyright because otherwise how can they say that this is just a paid version? if the author doesn't allow by declaring all those details. So, right. So for such journals who require copyright, who provide such articles on the basis of giving some amount, they actually require copyright from the author. And otherwise also, I have seen open access journals also take copyright, because to publish it in their website, they need a consent from the author, right? So you have to read the copyright, what is written in that particular copyright agreement, what is mentioned specifically. Sometimes they mention that only for just publishing in their website. Sometimes it says along with the agreement, they may say that, as you just pointed out with Sage, you may not be allowed to send it to some other person without the consent of the publisher.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. It was very informative. Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Any other questions?
Thank you so much, sir, for that enlightening and enriching session. It was indeed informative, inspirational, and especially for the beginners of research. Thank you so much for such a wonderful session, sir. So I guess it's time to wind up the session, and I invite Ms. Aparna, a faculty of the department, to extend a vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Sona. Good evening, everyone. It has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful session, and I'm pretty sure that each and every one of us are glad that we have attended today's session, and I'm confident that we all have learned something from it. So, on behalf of the Department of English, St. Michael's College, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our resource person, Mr. Raisin Matthew, Assistant Professor of English, Jain University, Bangalore, for accepting our invitation and for being here with us today. This lecture certainly benefited from your breadth of knowledge and depth of expertise. Thank you, sir. My most sincere thanks to Ms. Betty Merenipin for formally welcoming this gathering, and much thanks to Mr. Sam Johnson for taking the effort in planning and organizing this expert session. I would also like to thank all the faculties and students of the English department and each and everyone who have attended this session for making time to be with us today and helping us make this a fruitful one. Thank you all once again.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Sam Johnson, sir, for inviting me to for this particular session and giving me an opportunity to interact with many scholars, students, and teachers. Sure, sir. Thank you.